And look at this, the Kawasaki juggernaut makes their way to the start line. The Pro 1200 final is coming up. Here are the current point standings. It's MacClugage and Motzouris atop, followed by Lawrence, Farthing, and Ritchie.
The Pro 1200 qualifier heats were very simply some of the best racing this year. Chris Lawrence, winner of round 3 1200 main here at Oceanside, fired out of the hole like a proverbial rocket to take an undisputed scat track hole shot.
Close in tow was Rookie of the Year nominee Ken Ritchie and Kawasaki kingpin Chris MacClugage.
Yeah, Mac fired up to the front after a less than ideal start for a full-on jihad with Chris Lawrence for the heat win.
It was Chris MacClugage that arose victorious from the ashes. You kind of get the impression that these two had way too much fun in the heat of the battle.
Next time.
With heat number 1 being such a barn burner, you'd think that heat number 2 would be anticlimactic. Not the case. Dustin Farthing collected his first scat track hole shot, only to have tragedy strike a few laps in as the latch holding his seat gave way, exposing his engine to the great outdoors, including the entire Pacific Ocean.
Dodging around and tippy-toeing through overhead waves, Dustin did a great job holding off a hard-charging Dustin Motzouris.
New Zealander Kane Cahill soared his Reba racing machine to a solid 3rd place, but it was South Africa's Dustin Motzouris taking a flawless, rock-solid heat number 2 win on his Kawasaki STXR. And now we are set for the Pro Runabout 1200 Superstock, our main event final. On the inside, look for Dustin Farthing. There's Chris MacClugage, but it's Farthing, boat number 2, the blue boat.
Yeah, Farthing got a great jump right out of the hole. Next to him was Dustin Motzouris. We'll see how they come around the first turn. On board right here with Chris MacClugage headed into the first turn. And he's got a bird's eye view of the riders in front of him. MacClugage not with a great start, but it is Motzouris out in front with the scat track hole shot.
Dustin John Motzouris out of South Africa with a scat track hole shot, coming back in through the surf where they're jumping the waves and approaching that critical inside buoy. There is Dustin Motzouris. Here's Lawrence and Farthing. And MacClugage looks like he's in 4th. Cahill out of control. And Tosca Warner, we've got a race on our hands.
Yeah, Motzouris timed it perfectly out of the gate. Looks really good out in front. And Farthing is on the gas in 2nd place. Great racing down the front straightaway.
Motzouris is our leader, but Dustin Farthing, King D, boat number 2. Look at him negotiate the surface. Coming up strong, that's Chris Lawrence, the Bulldog. Boat number 151, he's got an inside line.
Yeah, Farthing had 2nd place, swung wide. Coming out of that turn, open the door for Lawrence. Lawrence takes advantage, moves into 2nd. And now here comes Mac. He's all over Farthing as well. Mac trying to go around Farthing for 3rd.
It's Motz, Lawrence, King D versus Mac. King D goes wide. Hey, there's MacClugage on the inside. MacClugage to the right-hand side of the screen. He's got a better line.
Yeah, again, you see Farthing swing real wide right there, possibly to maintain the speed, but inside comes MacClugage. MacClugage goes by, puts a clean pass on Farthing and moves into 3rd.
The ride of your life with Chris MacClugage aboard the 250 horsepower STXR. The The Kawasaki STXR race boat, 3 cylinders, like I said, 250 horsepower at 8,000 RPMs, over 76 miles per hour. They are flying out there, Rick.
Yeah, Mac definitely on the gas, but right now it's his teammate Motzouris. Motzouris showing great form right now. He hasn't started fatigue. You can see he's in that attack position, able to handle the jarring of these waves.
Dustin John Motzouris, a South African champion, now racing for Factory Kawasaki. He is our leader. A brilliant ride so far, but there's plenty of racing left ahead. It's Motzouris, Lawrence, and MacClugage, the top 3. Stay with us. Welcome back to the 2002 Pro Watercraft Tour presented by Kawasaki. And our racing continues here in the Pro Runabout class. Dustin Motzouris is our leader, but he is being hunted down by Chris Lawrence and Chris MacClugage.
Mott's riding a great race today, no question about it, but Chris Lawrence in second right now, trying to repeat his win in Pro Runabout 1200 that he had in round number 3. And then he's got Mac all over him right now. Here comes MacClugage. Looks like he's really making time on Lawrence.
Chris, the kid MacClugage, is now known as the Mac Attack at 28 years old, now out of Fullerton, California, riding very fast and very aggressive, trying to hunt down Chris Lawrence, the Bulldog, just 19 years old, out of Brea, California.
Yeah, MacClugage all over Lawrence right now. You remember back in the qualifier, those two guys had a great race. They really battled, with MacClugage coming out just in front of Lawrence. And right here, Lawrence has got his hands full of Mac.
On board we go, and there is a little love tap, and he does a 360 to get back on course. Yeah, I think Chris Lawrence felt that.
Yeah, no doubt Chris Lawrence felt that little love tap, as you called it, from MacClugage. MacClugage definitely serious out there, means business, and he is going after a win right here. That's all that's in his mind right now.
Oh, MacClugage gets thrown off his ski down the front straightaway at a speed probably 40 miles per hour, maybe 50. His ski comes unmanned into the shore. The mechanics get it and try to push it out for him.
Yeah, the mechanics need to be very careful right there. There is a limit on how much help you give a racer while he's on the race course, and that is definitely part of the race course that they're on here at Oceanside. MacClugage back up and underway. It looks like he's okay.
Let's look at that again. Front straightaway at speed. MacClugage gets tweaked in the air, lands at an angle, and loses his balance.
And unlike recreational watercraft that are very forgiving handling, these race boats are tuned for precision. And sometimes that precision is not very forgiving, as MacClugage finds out right there.
Now get this, with the get off and the remount, he has still maintained his 3rd position in this race.
And that is simply amazing, as the top 3 riders have really checked out from the rest of the field. Farthing right here in 4th place, riding without a seat. Again in the final, as in the qualifier, seat has come off. Remember Kenny's fate in the free ride final without a hood. It could happen at Farthing in the final here.
Your leader, white flag out, 1 lap to go. Dustin John Motzouris, boat number 3, a brilliant ride. In fact, no mistakes that we saw whatsoever. He is making it look way too easy.
Yeah, Motzouris has really been flawless this afternoon, but right behind him, a great battle taking place between Chris MacClugage and Chris Lawrence. MacClugage trying to take over 2nd place from Lawrence.
Here comes MacClugage. MacClugage looking on the inside. There's Lawrence right ahead. Oh, are they close? They're looking for the white flag too. They're about a half lap behind our leader.
Yeah, repeat of the qualifier battle between Lawrence and MacClugage, and those two are going at it right now for 2nd place. Motzouris is checked out all by himself. In fact, here he comes right now.
Motzouris looking for a checkered flag. Boy, did he deserve this victory. Start to finish, practically wire to wire. Here he comes, checkered flag. Let's see his reaction. And yes, he claims this one. What a huge win for Motzouris.
A great win for Motzouris, and by a great margin, he really left the rest of the field, including his teammate Chris MacClugage, who right now is battling tooth and nail with Chris Lawrence. They both miss a buoy right there and have to go back and make it up. Incredible.
Both forcing one another into a huge mistake. They do a 360, clear the buoy, back on course. It's MacClugage with a slight lead. This is so similar to the battle they had earlier today.
Yeah, these two have been going at it seemingly all afternoon. They're racing so hard out there that they both force each other into a mistake, a missed buoy. You never really see that too often. This is really great racing.
MacClugage ahead of this man, Chris Lawrence, the Bulldog, and it looks like the Bulldog's going to have to settle for a 3rd place finish. And the last man standing, guess what? Dustin John Motzouris. Will be right back.
The 2002 Pro Watercraft Tour is brought to you by Kawasaki Jet Ski Watercraft. Kawasaki, let the good times roll. By Wahoo's Fish Taco, fueling the forces since 1988. And by Mountain Dew, do the do.
The 2002 Pro Watercraft Tour presented by Kawasaki, round number 4 here at Oceanside, California. Completing in the record books, Pro Runabout 1200 Superstock main event, it's Dustin Motzouris, followed by Chris Lawrence, Dustin Farthing, Craig Warner, and Chris MacClugage. Officials have docked Chris MacClugage 1 lap, so his second place finish is now a 5th place result for receiving on-course assistance from his crew. For the Mac Attack, all I can say is whatever. No big deal, we're halfway through the season, plenty of races ahead. And for Dustin John Motzouris, what a brilliant ride, start to finish. Every time he gets on a PWC, he has 2 goals. Win as many races as he can, be the best as he can, and he did that today. He's standing by with Rick Lake.
Dustin, a great ride in Pro Runabout 1200 final. You took the win, you took off out in front and pretty much motored away.
Yeah, you know, my Kawasaki STXR was running great out there, and I was able to get a good start. And at the beginning of the race, I just tried to sprint for a couple laps, get a good, good lead, and then, I'd have a bit of a buffer, in case any big sets came through. I didn't have to take any chances, and it paid off for me. I was able to, get away, and I just, carried on going from there.
Now, are you aware of how far second place is behind you? Do you know what's going on? Are you getting any signals, or are you pretty much on your own?
I was pretty much on my own. I kept an eye out. I went, probably sprinted 3 or 4 laps, and then looked back, and I wasn't able to see anybody. So, from that point, I just went out and rode, and enjoyed the race, which was really nice. Just to go out there and just have fun.
Well, you had a really smooth, flawless ride in the final. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This young man came to the United States at the age of 14 to race PWCs. And look at that, he's on top right now in the Pro 1200 class, overtaking MacClugage in that last race. An awesome day of racing here from Oceanside, California. On behalf of Rick Lake, I'm David Stanfield saying so long.